So before we dive in, a quick word about the Agile Mastery Club. If you're a Scrum Master or Agile coach who wants more than just theory, well, this is where you'll find it. Inside the club, you'll get access to practical toolkits, weekly challenges, and a supportive network of peers who really get what it's like to be in your shoes. It's a place to grow your confidence, sharpen your coaching skills, and feel supported on your journey, whether you're guiding a team today or preparing for your next big step. So, if you're ready to move beyond the textbooks and start mastering the craft of Agile mastery and Scrum mastery and Agile coaching, then come and join us. You'll find the link to get your 7-day free trial in the show notes. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the proper. It's the episode 2 officially, but it's probably the first one that we're going to really dive into actual some topics and things. And today we're going to look at the power of observations, and for me, it's probably the biggest skill you can have in your toolkit. It's the one that's really underused. So if you ask any Scrum Master, what are you going to be doing in your first, say, few weeks of being in a team? And 99% of the time, they'll probably come back to you and say, I'm just going to observe and see what's going on, and then I'll sort of make my, I'll start to sort of ease my way in. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely, that's great. Really going into a team and just really sensing the water before you can kind of start really invoking your knowledge and skills onto them. But fundamentally, what you want to be doing here, and I'm just going in and observing, kind of needs a bit of structure to it. It needs a bit of some really deep thought. And so for me, what the sort of things that are really useful to focus on when we're talking about observing is really, it's not just observing and seeing everything that's going on, but also really reflecting and sort of coming away from a particular ceremony, be it a stand-up or be it a planning session, regardless of what it actually is. What you want to be doing is really looking for the things that are going unsaid, maybe not even, maybe it's body language, maybe it's the sorts of things that we tend to kind of miss, or most people will miss. So your role as a coach when you go in there, when you first start with a team, is really to look for the things that other people aren't really seeing. They're really in the middle of it, because you're kind of on the periphery, you're on the outside looking in, and that's really what your first couple of weeks should really be like, is and really all the way through, to be honest, you should always be using that skill of observation to sort of to find out the sorts of things that are going on, where the people that are in the team, that are actually embedded into it, they probably will miss generally. Now, I remember when I first started out, I would be going into a team and I'd be saying, "Hey, I'm just going to be observing first couple of weeks. Basically, you won't even know that I'm here." Now, there's a couple of things to that, which is, as I say, it's okay to do that. Um, you have to be wary or aware of what the team has had beforehand. So they might have had 2 or 3 coaches before you, and so they might be a little bit kind of, he's just going to come in and spend all this time observing, and we're not really going to get anything effective from him. We're not really going to learn what we're supposed to be doing, what we're not doing right, and it's just going to be a bit of a waste of time. And so there might already be some hidden resistance that you're not privy to. So when you go into a new team, you just need to be a bit aware about what's happened beforehand. Now, the sorts of things that I tend to do, and this took me a while to sort of realize, it's just set out some one-to-ones and really sort of, spend 10, 15 minutes with each of the team individually, because you find out an awful lot. You get a different perspective. You also, people open up a lot more when it's one-to-one, but it's a really good way of building trust early so that you can actually start to get a real flavor for what's happened in the team, what's going on in the team, but also what has gone on before. You can ask questions about, what was the coach like before? How was the relationship there? What sort of things were you expecting that you didn't get from him or her? And perhaps, what is it that you're looking from me as a coach? What sort of things can I do to help? Um, so that's just sort of some of the sort of techniques and tactics that you can actually get into, and it's a really good way of, as I say, building relationships, building trust, but also just be mindful of the fact that as a coach, you're coming in. It's a privilege to be in this team. Are you invited in? Possibly. It's like the Dracula effect. Dracula has got to be invited in, um, and that's sometimes you might face a team that has just been burnt before by poor coaching. And it does happen, which is, really why we're here, right? We're trying to build up the skills and mastery of coaching. But it does happen. So you might find a team that is a little bit wary about what's gone on before, and you're sort of already on the back foot. So it's really important to use that skill of observation, but not necessarily just sitting there and watching, but actually just really looking deeply. And the second part to that is to really reflect on what's been said or what hasn't been said, body language. Take some time after the event to really reflect on what you've seen and what has been going on, and start to sort of piece together some of the behaviors and some of the sort of deep-rooted issues that might be there that people can't see, and look at, perhaps some systemic issues or perhaps some deep-rooted, sort of wider, more broader issues that might be impacting the team that they're not aware of. And then, that reflection bit, use a journal. But, really good tool to have is to have something where you can actually have some structured reflection. Um, use a journal that can actually help you to sort of get your thoughts down onto paper. And then from that, you can then go back to the team and make it every couple of days or at the end of a week and just say, look, this is what I'm seeing. Be upfront, be transparent with them. Um, you know, Try not to build up walls early on by hidden walls or invisible walls that people can't. There's an element of mistrust if you're observing but not actually talking them through it. So take some time take some time with them and to say, these are the sorts of things that I've been observing. What do and ask them to give you some feedback on what's their perspective, what do they feel, how they feel about that, what's their what's their insight. Maybe they have some information that you're not privy to, and they might open up to you. So it's an amazing skill to have, but as I say, be very, very careful of how you use it, and really take the time to build the foundations, to build the muscle of observation and reflection. Really take some time to really kind of really sort of reflect and build up that skill, because as you grow, those insights in the early days of a team, and you'll see how far they come. You can really reflect back on that, over the course of a few weeks or a few months, to then to really kind of gain greater understanding, and it will really enhance your skills as an agile coach, because you're really taking the time to learn from them and to actually to build that out. And the last thing I wanted to say on this was actually don't be afraid to step in if you see something that, some quick wins that you can have with them in the moment. They might be looking for you for answers sometimes. So, you might want to, sometimes we think that just being a coach is to be a coach, right? To actually, try and get the answers from there, or to help them to find the answers. But actually, sometimes you just need to be a mentor, which is the difference between a coach and a mentor is that you are they're just sort of saying, look, this is how I've done it in my experience, and maybe you can try that out for you and see if it works, sort of thing. Like give them some quick wins, some early nuggets that they can work with that can actually help you to really take to actually build up that trust and respect and that kind of thing. So you're not just observing, you're also working with them as well. So that was the end of, well, episode 2, I suppose. Let's call it episode 2. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.